welcome to our channel today. This is Family Aspect. I'm your host, Charles. I had a question that I thought I should quickly answer that may be relevant to our previous videos that we have made on the series of preparing for marriage. So I had a question from one of our viewers that said, what type of men make horrible husbands? What type of men make horrible husbands? And why that question was asked, I thought to myself, why didn't you ask what type of women makes horrible wives? Well, that just gave me an idea of what the next video is going to be. So what type of women make horrible wives? Wouldn't that be an amazing question to ask as well? Well, yeah, some men may be wanting to know as well. They don't want to get into a relationship that they will regret. So I understand that. Remember, what we do as a channel is to help family grow, and we are growing as well. We are helping family grow as much as we are growing. And we also share some tips and information that we know that are very, very useful. And if you look at our channel properly, that's what we're doing. And there's so much more coming. Like I already discussed with my wife, we might be sharing some videos about our business, family business that we're doing. And because this is Family Aspect, so we are into real estate, we'll be talking about that and be showing you more videos regarding that and how we started and how you can also get on the bandwagon. Okay, we'll look into that. So what type of man makes horrible husband? Now, if you're watching us for the first time and this is your first video with us, don't worry, you're gonna have so much fun with our content. And I will encourage you to subscribe and also like the video, and also hit the notification button, the bell notification button on the video as well, so you'll be able, while you subscribe, so you'll be able to watch more of our videos and content coming your way. Well, I'm just trying to get this question going, so I'm trying hard to really get into the question and answer it. Okay, what type of man, that's the question, what type of man makes horrible husband? The type of man who will make a horrible husband for you is a type who does not fit, your individuality, a type who does not fit you as an individual. In most cases, this is discussed as, or discussed in many channels as incompatibility. All right. So when you are not compatible, that could be a problem. So if the man doesn't fit your individuality, the woman doesn't fit your individuality, that could be a problem. That could be a horrible step that anyone would take to marry that person who doesn't fit them. A man or woman doesn't fit your individuality. So another trace you may find, let me just use the word, another traits you may find in a person that is going to be a horrible husband is a man who has a history of violence. Yeah, a man who has history of violence, particularly against women. You want to watch out for a man who has history of violence against women. All right, you don't want to have a man that has history of violence. Now you have to find out. You say, how do I know? Find out. A lot of women are too quick to jump into a conclusion without doing a proper research. You need to do your research and find out. Okay. And a man, another trait you must look out for is a man with a poor work history. You don't want a man who cannot find or keep a decent job. No. You don't want to marry a man who cannot keep a decent job, a man who cannot find a decent job, who's not motivated for job. And you need to check their work history. Okay, you need a man that has a work ethic in his in his in his career, in his history. Okay, very important. Also, you need a man with. You don't need a man with a hidden addiction of such as gambling, drugs, or pornography as an addiction. All right. Now, I know there are people who had time for all those things, masturbations and all of that. Yeah, those are addictions as well. You don't want to marry a man with such who already have that in his traits of life as an addiction, mind you, an addiction. It could be one who has this thing once in a while. Of course, not gambling, not drugs, not all of these things. So you want to find out someone who is without hidden addiction. He may be a drunkard, you may never know until you do your research. So that's another point. Another man that may be a horrible husband is a man with an out in the open addiction. There is what we call out in the open addiction, such as those I mentioned before. Addiction that is based on gambling is out and in. So sometimes you're out, sometimes you're in, and it's open. So that kind of person, you don't want to have that person in your life as a husband to marry. Is a very terrible thing to have such such man as a husband. Okay, it's very important. Now, another trait you want to look out for that you may be very careful of is a man with 3 or more children with different mothers. Yeah. You don't want to marry a man with 3 or more children with different mothers. You see, you don't want that. It's an attitude. It's a very terrible attitude. Any man that lives like that have 3 children, 4 children with different mothers, or 2 children, 3 children with different, at mass, all right? You're looking at 2 to 3 children with different mothers. There's a lot of attitude there. You need to be careful. Yeah, you need to be careful. You might just be the 3rd woman, or 4th, or 5th. Who knows? Be careful. Yeah, and you say, well, which other one? Yeah, there are a lot of them. I'm just trying to get you along with it. You don't want to marry a man with a lengthy criminal record that include at least maybe one felony. You don't want to marry a man with a criminal records or lengthy criminal records. Let me put it that way. Let me be right. You were talking about lengthy criminal record. You don't want a man that has a lengthy criminal record. And if those records include felony, I bet is going to be a horrible experience to be a wife to that kind of man. You don't want to marry a man that gets easily offended or engraved as simple questions. I mean, when I mean, sorry, I was supposed to use the word enraged. Okay, enraged, not engraved. Enraged. A man that gets easily offended and or enraged at simple questions or simple issues. You don't want to, that man can end up being a horrible husband. Okay, that man can end up being a horrible husband. You don't want that. Okay, you don't want to marry a man who can't help telling you lies all day and every day, all time. There are men who tell lies. These men are horrible husbands in the making. You don't want that. If you're dating a man and you find out that he always tell you lies, there's nothing you can trust about his words, what do you want from him anyway? Walk away. So you don't want that man. That can be a horrible husband. A man who thinks that your mother or your sister or your Facebook friend are fair game. A man who thinks that your mother, your sister, your friends, I just use the word Facebook to get your attention, your friends, your boyfriends are fair games. A man who thinks like that, he got a big problem. He got a big problem. You want to avoid that kind of a man. You know what I'm talking about. You want to avoid that kind of a man. Run away. It's going to be a horrible thing. A man who uses his manhood in women like a bank ATM. You know what I mean now? You gotta be some of you women are dating such men right now as we speak. You are probably the fifth, the sixth girlfriend that he has. What are you talking about? What are you doing with your life? And you say you want to get married to a man, a husband. You're looking for a husband that way. You're not gonna get it. A man who uses that, or let me use the general acceptable word, a man who womanizes a lot. So he uses women as just like bank ATM cards. Just put the ATM card anytime you want. Run away from such man. That won't be a wise husband for you. Horrible. A man who loves to look at you know what I mean, everything he sees, under everything he sees feminine, looks rare and that passes by. I mean, you're walking with your boyfriend or your husband to be, your spouse or your fiance, and every time he looks at a woman pass, he looks all the way down, and you noticed it. You don't want that kind. What that says to me is this: he has no respect for you. He has no respect for you. He has no concern about your future, how you feel. Emotionally, he doesn't even care. You see, man who does that, one day will leave you alone, will walk away. That thing he's always looking whenever they pass by will be the one to drag him away one day from you, no matter what you do. Except he stopped that habit. You are not the cause of it. He is the problem. He need to stop that way of living, that way of thinking and behavior. So a man who flirts with other women right in front of your face, you don't want that kind of man. You know it. Some of you have seen it happen, and you still stick to them. But that could be a horrible way to start a family. That man will gonna be a horrible husband. Because if you knew that he does those things and you still went ahead, or you still decide to say, I'm gonna get married to this man, then a time will come, he will tell you, you know what? Before I got you, before you came into my life, I was like this. What do you think is gonna make me change? And that's a big question that you need to answer. So you want to avoid a man who spend a majority of his time surfing the dark web. You know what I mean? We'll talk about dark web. Evil influencing websites. Terrible spiritualist website. Terrible things that people do online. You need to say, how do I know? Yeah, sometimes, a lot of times, this is very difficult to find out because men that practice these things will hide it from you. They will hide it from you. They will hide it in such a way. But if you find a way to get into, you're able to get into, I know some men will be listening to this, but in reality, Just find your way around it. To find out is not visiting dark websites. You know, you don't want that will influence him, change his mind toward you. He might even want to practice some of those dark things he's learning from there on you, on your children or something. You know? You understand? So you want to stay away from that. A man that will shame you in public, no matter who is present. That is dear. That's a terrible one. Now you're dating him. Both of you are just courting. And he shames you. He publicly assaults you. He publicly humiliates you. He publicly shouted you. My God, what are you doing with such a man? Walk away. He's gonna be a terrible husband. Tell you the truth. What other one? Yeah, a man. You have to threaten to get to marry you. Again, that's a very terrible thing. Why would you want to threaten a man to marry you? Then you're finished. Don't get yourself, listen ladies, listen hard. Don't get yourself into that web, that circumstances where you have to get to threaten a man to marry you. Oh dear. What are you thinking? It's going to end up rough, terrible for you. Okay? Don't do that. All right. A man who you suspect may be in a down low. All right? You know what I mean? Down low. Maybe he's not doing much for himself at all. And if you're not doing much for yourself, there's going to be a problem for both of you. Because two people in the pit can't get themselves out. If you are in the mud, let me use the word. If two people fall into the mud and they are deep sinking in the mud, they are both going to sink and die in the mud. No one's going to get them out. The only person that's qualified to get that person out of the mud is the one who is not in the mud the first place, and then be able to take care, wash off the guy in the mud. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know. So beware of that too. Yeah, that happens a lot. A man who has a poor relationship with his mother will be a big sign that he's going to have a poor relationship with you. So don't marry a man that has no relationship with his mother. Don't marry him. Don't marry that man yet until he build. Except you have to help him build a relationship with his mother. If you do, great. If he responds, great. If he tells you why he doesn't want to talk to the mother, find out. And if it is a reasonable thing, and help him reconcile to the mother, because you need that if you insist in marrying that man. If you insist, okay? Then a man that has cheated on you several times before you got married to him, or before you thought you want to get married, and you're not married. Probably you find out that this man has been cheating on you not once, not twice, not second, not third time, not fourth time, not fifth times. He's been cheating on you on countlessly. You can, okay, let's say as much as you can remember, 5 times, 6 times, or even 4 times. 4 times. He's cheated on you 4 times. That's bad, isn't it? And he said he loves you. And now you're about to get married to the man. You need to watch your step, woman. You need to step back and think about what you're about to do. There's a serious matter here. There was one time, I'll tell you a story. There was one time, many years ago, before I got married to my wife. There was this little girl that I was liking, beginning to like, and I asked her out while I was courting my my wife. And this is a true confession. And she got to know. Did you know that that ended the relationship? That caused a lot of trouble for us. For a long time, I have to clean up my mess for a long time until she was comfortable that I've cleaned up my mess. And she was, you know, you don't want to be there. Trust me. Make you a horrible husband. Or make any man a horrible husband. And you'll be horrible marrying that man. Okay? So a man who verbally attacks and abuses you for no good reason, you can't marry that man. That's a horrible man to marry. He just attacks you, abuses you for no reason, for no just good reason. You need to avoid that kind of a man. All right, that can be a horrible man. A man who can't lay it down for more than 2 minutes. You know what I mean? In bedroom, you're gonna be very sorry. You got married to a man who can lay it down in less than 2 minutes in the bedroom. Oh boy, that's gonna be horrible. Now I know love speaks a lot of volume, so if love helps you to get there over that, that's wonderful. Now you don't want to marry a man that spends more time with his friends than with his mate, with you know. He spends more time with his friends than he does with you. You don't want to marry that kind of man. That is self-affliction or self-affliction. Yeah, that's the word. That's self-affliction. You want to afflict yourself with that trouble, then go ahead and marry him. But if not, stay away. He spends more time with his friends more than he would spend more time with you. He talk more about his friends to you than he will ever say anything about you or himself to you. Wow, terrible. Okay, I hope these are satisfactory for you, and I'm sure there are tons more that can be added to this list. I just thought I should quickly answer this question that I got, and that's the video for it. And if you want more of this information, I've already shared some part of this on my Preparing for Marriage series. So go and watch the playlist on Preparing for Marriage series. You get all of this information. So hopefully I'm gonna be coming back with a list of horrible wives. Okay, women that can be horrible wives you don't want to get married to. So I should do that. I don't have to be focusing on men and men alone. So guys, thank you for watching. If you're watching for the first time, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And I want to like this video and share it with your loved ones and friends. You already know. And this is Family Aspect. We bring value to you. Remember, I already mentioned we're going to be coming on a series of family business that we can start and do. We're going to suggest some of those things to you. Me and my wife are going to be coming on a series of what we do in real estate. So watch out for it. If you haven't subscribed yet on this channel, that's the only way you can get access to this information. Do ahead now, subscribe and be a part of this family. You know, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Share this video and comment. If you have any question, don't hesitate to send us those questions. We'll treat it as soon as we can. Have a lovely day. Peace.